All right, so welcome to the masterclass. Tonight we are going to be talking about the 6th chakra, the Anja third eye center. And there's a lot to it. And the practice that is best for this center is yoga nidra. So that is what we are going to be doing. And if you are not familiar with yoga nidra, nidra means sleep. So at the end of class today in the masterclass, we will be laying down kind of like we're for your body. So that means you'll need a bolster, pillows, something under your neck, whatever you need to support yourself. Make sure you're plenty warm because temperatures are cooler. So make sure you grab all of that now so that you have it with you for the end of the class. Okay, so let's talk about the third eye. The third eye is located here. It's right between the eyebrows. And the physical opening, though, for the third eye is actually your eyes. And it relates to the astral aspect of the body. And the subtle quality is ether. So ether relates to the throat, remember? But it also relates to the third eye. Because the astral body, as you expand the astral body, that connects to the subtle quality of ether. It's all about expansiveness. We talk about the energetics of the body. They're called the vayus. And some of these centers relate to different vayus. Vayus move up, some move down, some move towards the center, some move out, and some circulate around. This center actually does not have a primary vayu. So that's interesting. And it also doesn't have a particular organ, sense organ that it relates to. And that's all because it's connected to the astral body. And that's a whole nother topic we could talk about another time. The meaning of this center is command. It is literally the command station for the body. And this is going to make a lot of sense because it relates to the endocrine system. So the body and the mind are very much affected by this center because it is the command center. It's the inner eye of perception. And when prana, remember prana, it means breath, but it also means vital force. So when prana flows through this center, it gives each person perceptions that support their ego, the ideas of their ego, the beliefs of their ego, whatever how you choose to perceive the world. We all see what we want to see, and that's the reality of it. We all have our own filter, and that filter is influenced here, and based on prana and how much prana is moving through it is going to affect that. And we go out and we look in the world and we then see what we want to see. We see what we want to see. When there's an increased flow of prana in this center, it means that we're then able to have insights and broadened awareness of oneself and the world. And when there is a decreased flow, it means that ability to have awareness, it narrows. So we do want a broadened awareness. We definitely want that. And I also don't want you to think that ego is a bad word. A lot of times for years, I've heard people say, oh, I don't want my ego this and my ego that. But your ego is important because you can't have a human experience without an ego. It's just learning how to work with the ego. The ego itself is not bad, but just understanding, how does the ego work? What are the ideas of the ego? What are these beliefs? How attached am I to these ideas and these beliefs? And how is it coloring the world? How is it helping me or not helping me perceive, right? And then once you start having those contemplative questions, you can then broaden your awareness, definitely. The physical chakra, this chakra physically affects all of the glands in the body, but mainly the pituitary gland and the hypothalamus. They're the main controls of the endocrine system. And the endocrine system, it controls hormone regulation and the autonomic functions. It's a network of glands that make all the hormones that are released throughout the body into the bloodstream and allows our cells to be able to communicate with each other. They're responsible for every cell and organ and function in our body. The endocrine system, when it's not healthy, it means that you might have problems developing during puberty, so growth, getting pregnant, managing stress. You might gain weight easily, your bones become weak, there's a lack of energy, and then you can even like start having problems with having sugar staying in the bloodstream too long, and then that creates problems and makes you feel fatigued. And instead of that energy moving into the cells, because it's needed energy, instead of it moving into the cells, it stays in the bloodstream. Your endocrine system controls your moods and development, your metabolism, your reproductive system, and all the organs. It's our hormones basically, and it's how our hormones are released. And those hormones, they get sent into the bloodstream and they travel to all different parts of the body. Psychologically, this center is responsible for the perception of the ego, like I've talked about, and it's our mental experience of the world. Each person perceives and then projects onto the world. And the reason why Yoga Nidra is a practice that we're going to do is because Yoga Nidra works with what's called a samkalpa. A samkalpa means an intention. It's a goal. It's something that you want. It's something that you desire. So we will be having a sankalpa tonight, bringing some sort of an intention up into our mind and holding that and using it during our Yoga Nidra practice at the end of our practice today. It helps us bring the center into balance, basically. This center projects onto the world one's deepest beliefs and impressions and samskaras, which are your impressions, and also your karmas, right? Karmas, I want you to just look at karmas as what you put out is what you get back. Let's just look at it like that. Simple. It's basically, do this, you get that. Do that, you get this. As we develop and evolve this on the psychological level, this center then is able to perceive at the soul level. The mantra for this center is Kasham, Ksham, Kasham. And it is appropriate for people who are kapha and pitta or vitiated out of balance with kapha and pitta. It is definitely not recommended for people who are vata or have high vata imbalance or low ojas. And remember, ojas is your vital reserves. Okay, so that's basically it. But I just want you to know that the main system that is connected to the center is the endocrine system, and the endocrine system controls all of the glands in the body. So it's not just the pituitary and the hypothalamus like I talked about, but those are located up in the head. So that's why we bring them up. But it's all of the glands, all of them throughout the whole body, and there's a whole list of them. Okay, so we are going to now move on to the practice. And I want to make sure that you know that we are definitely doing Yoga Nidra tonight. So that means it's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes of laying down and listening to this guided it's like a meditation, guided meditation. Okay, so let's get started with that.